equity and access to higher education for all students. So welcome, and we look forward to your keynote.
Have you heard this song before? And then you're adding the steps. And then you add the style. So, right? When I hear this music, it takes me to my rancho, el Rincón de Don Pedro, municipio de Puruándiro, Michoacán. And I know that each one of you have your story to share and tell. I am privileged today to come and share with you my story. The reality is that every day we meet with students in our classrooms, in our offices, in so many different places, in our schools, in the community, and oftentimes we do not get to know their stories. My story is not super. My story is not, yes, I went to the White House. But my story, I think, represents the hope and the dreams and the desire that many people have. When my dad was in Mexico with our family, he had a dream that at least maybe one day we'll be together as a family. But the reality was, back in the 70s and 80s, that was not the case for my family. I grew up without my father for 12 years because he was a seasonal agricultural worker working picking lemons and oranges in Ventura County and all over California. So I would get to see my dad only for 2 months, 1 month, and it was time to go to El Norte. Because El Norte, the north, was the land of opportunity, the place where you can pick money from the trees. He worked picking lemons and oranges for 32 years. And during those 32 years, I learned so much about resiliency, passion, networking, and advocacy. So today, I hope that through my little story in the next 30 minutes, I'm able to share with you some of the lessons that I learned that helped me become who I am today. But there's no end to the story. The story is just beginning. So as I was growing in El Rancho, Rincón de Don Pedro, for those 12 years, my life was set. I was supposed to be a cowboy. I was supposed to be riding the horses, milking the cows. I was supposed to be cultivating the fields. I was supposed to be the man of the house. I was supposed to be so many things. But in my mind, there was only one thing. And that is, I wanted to play professional soccer. I didn't want to work picking lemons and oranges. I didn't want to be living in the rancho all my life, cultivating. My dream was to play soccer every day. If I could play for the Mexican national team, it was my dream. Playing in front of millions of fans, chanting Homero goal. That was my dream. Unfortunately, that did not become my reality. But one thing I can share with you that in 1993, my dad said to our family, "Nos vamos para el norte." We're going to the north. I was in 7th grade in middle school. And I said to my dad, ¿En serio? ¿Vamos a ir? Really? We're going to leave? I was 12 years old. I was ready to come to El Norte at the age of 14, 13. But to come and do the same journey that my dad had been doing for years, which was picking lemons and oranges, because I was ready to become a man. And I was 13, 14 years old. So I was ready to come to the United States and cross the border like my dad did illegally for many years, through the Rio Grande and so on. So So the fact that when I was 12 years old, my dad says, "Nos vamos para el norte," it was scary because I felt that I had to leave my friends. However, I had hope that I was going to get to see them in el norte very soon. Because when they were 14, 15, they would come and pick lemons and oranges for the rest of their lives. So as we came through Ciudad Juarez with a family of 7, I was the oldest. I have 4 sisters, and both of my parents, we came in a van with 12 people. We had received our visas in June of 1993, and in November we decided to cross together. However, one of my little sisters, she was born 2 months before, so she didn't get to get her visa in June. So we came to the border, nobody asked for number 12 on the van. So she came with us on the van. How could we leave her? She was 2 months old. All of us had our visas. So we came to Fillmore, California. Now, where's Fillmore? Not in San Francisco, it's a Fillmore, right? Street. I've seen that. Now, Fillmore, California, in Ventura County. So as I came to Ventura County, I was excited. But not excited to be in the norte, in the United States. I was excited to be with my dad. After so many years of not seeing him, it was just amazing to think like, oh, the American dream. We're renting a house. Oh, we don't have furniture. Let's go to the yardas. Vamos a las yardas. We're gonna buy cheap, secondhand clothes. And it worked. For 2 years, I got to sleep 1.5 years, maybe a year, on the floor, on the carpet, and I felt that I was camping. I thought I had the best life. I was sleeping in my sleeping bag. I didn't have a bed in the living room. We were in a house with like 10 to 12 people in a house of 2 bedrooms in 1 living room. And I thought it was just an amazing life. And it was, in many different ways. Then, in 1995, something happened. When you live with so many people, something really bad happened, which was one of my uncles who lived with us was very drunk. Luckily, my mom was able to come to the room and save one of my sisters. From that moment on, my dad said, I will never live with anybody else except our family. And my dad said, we're gonna move to another place, and I don't know where. So he applied to live in Rancho, which was a farm working house development for 100 apartments. We got in to live in those 100 apartments, 6 miles away from the city of Fillmore. But by that time, I had lived already in 4th Street, in Fillmore, where people are like, and they're like, what's up, S.A.? You wanna hang out over here, S.A.? Vente pa acá. And it was like, coming from the Rancho with my Tejana, I had to start forgetting about this. Because coming to a middle school, you're not gonna come with your Tejana. You can. By that time, kids were gonna be really mean to you. You come with a sombrero, with a hat. So little by little, I had to start to forget about who I was, and I had to stop adopting a new tradition. I don't know, just hang out, like you will listen, you go shake hands, and oh, that's what we do, okay, that's what we do, and start walking like this. So little by little, I became like wannabe cholo. I wanna hang out. I remember the first day that I told my dad, let me cut my hair really short. And I cut it really short. He said, ¿qué traes? ¿Me pareces cholo? You look like a cholo. Why are you cutting your hair? In my town, in Mexico, boys, guys, you have long hair, you look cool. You were like handsome. It was the style. If you play soccer, oh, having long hair was like, it gives you just like an instant power, you know? It's good. You were good. However, I became a troublemaker. In Mexico, I was an honor student. 7th grade, 8th grade. By 9th grade, I had been in ELD classes, and I had learned very bad behaviors. That teacher would say, Homero, sit down. And I would be like, sit down. Like, don't say that, don't repeat after me. And I would be like, I'm practicing my English. My parents would get calls. Homero's gonna be in detention. Okay, so he's gonna stay after school. Okay, that's good for him. No, it was not good for me. I had gotten in trouble in class. My parents had no idea. Until one day, in 9th grade, I was talking to my best friend. Somebody behind me touches my behind. I turn around. I had grown up for 12 years without my father. I had learned to take care of by myself or whatever I had a problem with. So I turned around and I asked my best friend, one of my best friend who was there, ¿Quién fue, güey? Who was it? He's like, oh, fue él. So he blames it on somebody else. I go to my other friend and I'm like, fuiste tú, güey? And I hit him on the head. I was really upset. When you're talking to girls in front of you, it's not good that somebody is, you have to defend yourself, right? But I did not have really good self-control at that time. He stands up, he's taller than me. We get into a fight inside the math classroom. They call my mom, Señora, come and pick up your son because he got suspended for 3 days. Why? Because your son got into a fight inside the classroom. Mi hijo? My son? My son never fights. Señora, he was fighting man to man. Wow. So my mom comes from 5-6 miles away to pick me up on the bus. She doesn't know how to drive. She comes with my 2 little sisters and she picks me up and she says, ¿Qué hiciste? And I'm like, Mom, me tuve que pelear. ¿Cómo que te tuviste que pelear? What do you mean you have to get into a fight? I said, well, me tocaron atrás. He's like, that's why you get into a fight? Because they touch you behind? And I was like, yeah. So, vas a ver cuando hable con tu papá. You see when I talk to your dad. My dad comes from work, really tired. That day, he had worked picking lemons and oranges for many years. And he comes very tired and he says to me, and I will never forget about this. And he said, ¿Qué? He said, I work so hard for you. Every day, I'm picking lemons and oranges so that you can have a better education. And you are going to school and you're messing around and fighting? He said, you have 2 choices. He said, you work with me for the rest of your life picking lemons and oranges, or you focus on school and you do your best and do something for our family. He said, you are the man of the house. He said, you're the oldest. You have to be an example for your sisters. That speech changed my life. I had grown up without my dad for 12 years, and for the first time, he was telling me, this is the way. Working, picking lemons and oranges for the rest of your life is not the way. So he made it very simple for me. Carrying a 80-pound bag every day, Monday to Saturday, not being able to see your kids, hurting your back. It was not easy. So for me, instead of fooling around in school, I had to commit and dedicate myself. Now, I'm crying because I'm in front of school counselors. This is probably the first time that I cry like this. I've never done this before. I have done this speech 100 times. So you made me feel comfortable. Thank you for listening. So he made it really simple for me, right? I picked the books and started focusing in learning. And I said to my dad, Dad, ¿me dejas jugar fútbol? You let me play soccer? He's like, no. Like, why not, Dad? Why can't I play soccer in high school? He's like, you're gonna break a leg. I'm picking lemons and oranges since the age of 12 with my dad. I'm going on ladders that are like almost 20 feet picking oranges. That was more dangerous than me playing soccer in nice grass. But my dad never played sports in his life. He was always working since he was a little kid. So then, one day he says to me, okay, you can play. I can play. So I joined AYSO. and I wanted to become a professional soccer player. I played soccer, I became a great soccer player. I joined the varsity soccer team my sophomore year. I run track and field my sophomore year. And apparently, you run under 5 minutes, that's good in the mile. Apparently, that's really good. I did not know that. I was picking lemons and oranges. So you watch the movie McFarlane? Yeah. That was my life. I used to compete against McFarlane, and yes, I can say that sometimes we beat them. And so the reality is that joining sports, extracurricular activities in high school became one of the best things for somebody like me who had no idea of being part of a team, working as a team. Then one day, one of my bilingual community liaisons comes, she says, Homero, I want you to go to this camp. Camp, when? Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Oh no, Mrs. Norma, I don't want to go. Like, I have a track and field meet on Saturday. I can get a medal because I run really fast. And on Sunday, I have a soccer game. No, Homero, I want you to become a leader. I want you to go to this camp. This is going to be good for you. No. My coach won't let me. So later on, she calls me back. Hey, I spoke to your coach. He said that it's up to you. No, Mrs. Norma. My parents won't let me, so I'm not going. I have a soccer game. She calls my parents. Señores, we would like your son to go to this camp. And then one day she calls me and she says, all of your friends from ELD are going. Oh, pues si ellos van, I go too. If they go, I'm going too. So I went. I went on a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to a non-profit organization called Future Leaders of America. I went to that program. It also changed my life. I learned to become a leader. I learned to understand the importance of self-esteem, to care about yourself, love yourself. And then I hear one day, as a keynote at that camp, I hear Dr. D, a high school counselor, talking about the importance of higher education and how important it is for you as Latinos to go to higher education because we were underrepresented, because we're still underrepresented, and that we should get a higher education degree because it will help our families. And I listened, and it was in Spanish, and it was like, I want to do that. I want to do what she's doing, motivating people so that they can go to higher education, so they can go to school, so they can change their lives, because I have seen so many of my friends, I've seen so many of my family members, I've seen so many people struggling every day, and I was like, I want to do that. So, my senior year, I had a 3.86 GPA. I went to my counselor, and she was a very good counselor, but I never asked the right question to the counselor. I never said to my counselor, you know what, yeah, I'm taking the SAT because I'm a really good athlete, but I stayed the same for the 3 years. I never broke 459. I always stay at 459. Never improved that from there, right? So I was hoping that I was gonna get recruited by a university to play soccer or run track and field across country. And my counselor would say, here's the SAT waiver. Here it is, take it. I will go, I will just show up, take the test. But I never asked her, am I A through G eligible? 1999? I had no idea that you had to take your A through G's. So I had taken too many ELD classes in 9th grade, 10th grade, bilingual classes that did not count it, that did not count it for A through G. I began taking some AP classes my junior and senior year, but it was too late. So I went to Montreal Community College with the idea of going to a dream school. UCLA. Apparently, UCLA is a really good school. I heard that UCLA was a really good school. So you're like, oh, bueno, ¿quiero ir a UCLA también? I want to go to UCLA. So I went to Montreal College, take my first class, grammar, English in the summer, because I went ahead. I did not qualify to take the transferable English class. I take my first class, and I I get a D grade. My dream of going to the school, UCLA, got shattered in the first summer when I was trying to get ahead. And I was playing soccer still in NYSO that summer. That was my last summer playing. And I said to myself, you know what? Done. Focus on school, leave sports. And my plan was to try out for the Motor College soccer team, cross country, and so on. So I said, I'm gonna focus on school 100%. After 3 years, I applied to 5 schools. I visited UC Santa Cruz. Last night when I was coming, I'm like, I'm here. I'm close to Santa Cruz. Because I saw these big pine trees on the freeway, and it was like, that's the sign. I remember, it was beautiful going to UC Santa Cruz. I applied to UCSB, UCLA, UC San Diego. And then the president from the college was like, you should apply to UC Berkeley. And I was like, no. They're like, yeah, it's a good school, you have good grades. So I applied to the 5 schools. The 5th school, I applied because I didn't qualify for more waivers. I don't mean working landscaping at the time. I applied to 5 schools. I got into Santa Cruz, I got into UCSB, I got into San Diego, I got into UCLA, my dream school. And then I got into UC Berkeley, apparently it was a good school. So the president is like, you need to go see UC Berkeley. I said, no, I'm going to UCLA, UCLA is my dream. I went to the cafeteria, they had so much food. I remember that day. And he's like, no, man, you need to go see UC Berkeley. You gotta take the time to go see it. No, Dr. Walker, I don't wanna go. I was in student government. Finally, one weekend, I decided to go see, I made a connection with Lupe Gallegos Diaz at UC Berkeley. I go get a tour, and I get there, and I'm like, what? This is Cal? Oh, I applied to Cal? I had seen Cal on sports. I had no idea that I had applied to Cal. I knew I applied to the University of California, Berkeley, but I had no idea how I applied to Cal. So I get there and I'm like, whoa, this is huge. This is amazing. Old buildings, very bad streets, you know, telegraph there. I came from a different telegraph in Fillmore. It was very different than this telegraph. So, it was like... so now I had a choice. UCLA or UC Berkeley, Santa Cruz. UC Santa Cruz was my number 3 choice. UCLA. The next year was Santa Barbara, then UC Santa Cruz. When I started UC Berkeley, the big pine trees, I was like, wow, this is just like Santa Cruz. I just love Santa Cruz. And so, when I look at financial aid and I got more additional tours, they made it really easy for me. UCLA, I had to pay like $12,000 every year and take 2 additional statistics classes. UC Berkeley, I just take 7 classes for free. No, pues. I go for free. I come from a low-income family, free reduced lunch, all the titles that you want to name it. I go to UC Berkeley instead. My mom was like, no, mijo, go to UCLA. UCLA, you go to UCLA? Otherwise, you're closed every weekend. Such a great option. But I was like, no, man, I have to go and look for what I think is best for my future career. Doesn't matter where your students go to college. Doesn't matter which university they go to. It matters. I worked for 8 years as a high school counselor, and I know it matters where they go. Some of them want to stay locally. It's okay. But you have to help the students as a counselor to understand their choices, the career opportunities. The fact that I went to UC Berkeley, it has opened so many doors. It opened the doors for me to go to San Diego State University and get a minute to do a master's degree in counseling. It opened the doors where Trish Hatch, Dr. Trish Hatch, you guys know her? I heard she was here. One day she says, Homero, can you be my graduate assistant? Wow, that was like, you want me to be your graduate assistant at the Trish Hatch? She was the new director of counseling in San Diego State. I said, okay, why? She said, because my son is going to UC Berkeley, and you went to UC Berkeley. Oh, okay, because I went to UC Berkeley? Okay, no problem. I don't care about your other qualifications, but you went to UC Berkeley? That's my signature. Okay. So I became her graduate assistant for 2 years. We connected. I learned so much from Dr. Trish Hatch. She says, Homero, you ever need anything, let me know. I said, okay. I graduated from San Diego State. It was May. I couldn't get a job. It was June. I couldn't get a job. And I go to Dr. Trish Hatch. Dr. Trish Hatch, you know what? I'm going to change my career. What do you mean you're going to change your career? You work for a master's degree of science with an emphasis in multicultural counseling, and you're going to change your career. She's like, I can't get hired, Dr. Hatch. So I applied to become a loan officer, and I got hired already in 2006. So I need money, so I'm going to be a loan officer, and then on the side, I'm going to be selling credit cards with Bank of America, with a telemarketing company, and they pay really well. They pay $9.75 an hour. Dude, what are you doing? I said, I work with you so hard for you to become a school counselor. You can't just leave the school counseling profession. I said, well, I can't get hired. She's like, give me some time, and I'll get you a job. She contacts people. She calls me later. She says, Homero, you have a job interview in Oceanside High School. Can you go all the way over there? I used to live at Qualcomm Stadium in San Diego. And she says, are you willing to go? And I said, yes. And so I went to the interview, the easiest job interview I ever had. Connections, networking. She did it for me. Later on, she said, Homero, you want to go to this conference to present? Sure, I will go present to this conference. Homero, you want to go present at these other conferences? Yes, Dr. Hatch, whatever you need. Well, you want to come here and be a keynote speaker? Yes, sure. I became like the yes ma'am, whatever you want. Just tell me, Dr. Hatch. One day she says, Homero, send me your resume. Okay, I sent her my resume. I didn't even ask her for why. One day she says, Homero, are you ready for me to share your story? Yeah, I was born ready, Dr. Hatch. Just share my story. She calls me one day, Homero, you're in the top 10. I said, top 10 for what? She's like, dude, I sent your resume to the White House. What? Dr. Hatch, I didn't even edit my resume. I just sent you like my draft. She says, I'll let you know tomorrow you make it. So now I'm all like, I had this anxiety. She calls me back, she says, Homero, you made it. You were selected as the school counselor, first generation, to go and represent all school counselors in the nation. With a cabinet of Michelle Obama, a group of people, they're working on creating this initiative, the Reach Higher Initiative, where they want to hear the voice of how can we get more students to go to higher education who are first generation. And you have the perfect story, you go tell them what you think. I said, Dr. Hatch, you send my resume to the White House? She's like, yes, Homero, you have the story, you can go and advocate. So I went to the White House. I shared to this group of people, leaders in school counseling, and it was an amazing experience. One of the things that I learned is this: if it wasn't for the education that I had, I could not sit at the table. If it wasn't because I had that degree, I could not sit at the table. So then I come back home. Later on, like 5-6 months later, there's a White House convening in San Diego State University. I go to this White House convening, and when I'm there, I speak in front of everybody, and I say to them, my dream and my goal for California is to ensure that I become a voice for those students who are underrepresented. I was one of those students. I want to make sure that I advocate as a counselor and do whatever I can to inspire and motivate so that we can change their attitudes, so that we can improve their skills, and that we can increase their knowledge. Ask, right? And I said, I want to do that throughout the state, throughout the nation. Then I get a call one day. And this time it's the White House. Homero, we're calling you from the White House. Can you please come on this date to introduce Michelle Obama at a college opportunity summit? And I'm like, what? He said, like, yeah, we would like you to introduce Michelle Obama. Can you do it? I said, can I talk to my wife and let you know? I know Michelle Obama is Michelle Obama, but I was like, I need to speak to Michelle Obama, my wife, right? The lady of my house. And we talked, and we agreed that it was a great opportunity. I went, introduced Michelle Obama, and here is the video. 32 hours without sleep. In 1981, I was born at home in a small farm in the state of Michoacán, Mexico. I could have grown up to be a farmer. However, in 1993, at the age of 12, my father, a seasonal agricultural worker in California, decided to migrate with our family of 7 to this country. Our transition to this country opened the doors of opportunity for my development as a human being and an educated person. As I became acculturated to the new school system, language, and lifestyle in this country, I experienced many academic, language, and social challenges. For example, in 9th grade, I was suspended for 3 days because I got in a fight inside a classroom. When I got home, my dad said to me, son, I brought you to this country to succeed, not to fail. I brought you to this country so you can get a better education than me. I don't want you to be working on the fields. As a result of that meeting with my dad, I decided to embrace sports, do well in school, in my faith, and in my community. During my junior year, I was chosen by a school counselor to attend a camp organized by a former school counselor on the importance of higher education. Her words of knowledge and inspiration motivated me to be just like her. I went on to Mobile Community College and transferred to the University of California at Berkeley, where I received my bachelor's degree. Determined to be a student advocate, I obtained a master's in school counseling credential from San Diego State University, and recently an administrative master's degree and credential from California State University, and I was also able to study with UCLA, Spain, Morocco, and Portugal. I am a proud professional school counselor at Morpeth High School, and I am an advocate for all students, particularly first-generation college students, to have open access to the courses they need to fulfill their post-secondary dreams. On behalf of my colleagues and parents throughout this country who impact the lives of the students they serve each and every day, it is my great honor to be here with you today. I am humble and proud to support the President's College Opportunity Agenda and our First Lady's Reach Higher initiative. Please join me in the honor of introducing you to the First Lady of the United States of America, a passionate champion and advocate, ensuring every student in this country has the same opportunity to achieve the American dream. Ms. Michelle Obama.
You've been very busy. You're being spoken to a lot. I hear my husband was here. But it is truly a pleasure to be here with all of you today. And I want to thank you so much for joining us for this year's College Opportunity Day of Action. You should be proud. We're already proud of you. And this day has just already been a tremendous success. Of course, I want to start by thanking Homero. I mean, he's just...
So then she said my name, Homero. When I came to this country, people will call me,